Hey guys, how are you? I think you are doing great. Today, we'll analyze the French-Spanish. The title of the movie will be at the end of the video. Don't rewind so you don't miss it. I immediately warn you the main character is played by two actresses. We will see how their character and wish list change. Matthew is a wealthy middle-aged man who decided to buy 2 train tickets from Seville to Paris. But it turned out that all the tickets were sold out. In return, he was offered to take a ticket to Madrid. From there, he could go to the place he needed. He has to agree and returns to the hotel. Meeting with the butler, he asks him to clean up the room, which is full of dirty and torn women's clothes. Driving to the station, he sees another murder of a businessman. He explodes in the car. Seeing this, the man was frightened and decides to go the other way. Upon arrival, he and his butler take places in different compartments, Matthew in the first carriage and the butler in the guard section of the train. In a compartment, a man meets fellow travelers, including a psychologist, a judge, and a woman with a child. As it turned out, they were all from France and in one way or another knew Matthew. The departure of the train is delayed for several minutes and the man decides to smoke in the corridor of the car. Noticing the approach of a beaten girl who checks each car, he asks the conductor to open the toilet. As soon as a girl named Conchita approaches the car, Matthew pushes her away and pours a bucket of cold water on the girl's head. The train leaves, but Conchita does not give up and jumps into the last car. Fellow travelers want to know the reason for the act of the wealthy Frenchman, but no one dares to ask him about what happened. The most daring was the little girl because she did not understand the act of the mother. As it turned out, a bucket of cold water is still not enough. Conchita deserved more. After all, in a good way, she should have been killed. Such an answer strained everyone present, and they asked to tell the story of their acquaintance. At first, the mother refuses, but still decides to tell how he met Conchita and what it led to. Coming to the cousin in the courtroom meetings, Matthew invited him to his home. During dinner, he met a new maid, the same end. He immediately drew attention to the fact that the girl was clumsy and inexperienced because she did not know how to properly serve wine and in which glass it should be poured. In the evening, a wealthy Frenchman decided to be persistent and asked the butler to invite a maid to his bedroom. During a conversation, the girl said that she did not like to work, but had to do it to provide for her mother. She was only 18 years old and she still wanted to dance, have fun, and live carefree life, and not spend his youth on the work of servants. At some point, Matthew kisses the shy Conchita, but this frightens the girl and she hurriedly leaves the room. The next morning, it turns out that she left the house and did not take money for the work. There is no phone number and home address of the maid since she was hired by an ad. A few months later, Matthew was leaving for Switzerland while walking in the park. He was attacked. The robber took away 800 francs from the man and disappeared in an unknown direction. Having met the gendarme, he wanted to tell about what had happened, but he realized that it was pointless. During lunch at the hotel, he meets Conchita and the girl admits that the robbers are her friends with whom she came to Switzerland for concert performances. They don't have money for the return trip, so they had to go to extreme measures. Matthew allowed to keep the money, but in return, asked Conchita for his home address. Returning to Paris, the man goes to the outskirts of the capital. On the threshold of the house, he is met by his mother, who joyfully greets Matthew and thanks him for the financial support. Help! Her husband died a long time ago, leaving behind only debts. However, she did not beg or humiliate herself like other women, but earn honest labor by taking money from her mother. The mother leaves and leaves her alone with a man. The girl admits that she does not like to wash and clean, does not know how to cook, and is unlikely to be an exemplary wife. At the same time, she is sincerely in love with Modier, but his age. She's a little embarrassed. A wealthy Frenchman visits Conchita daily and within a month seeks its reciprocity. During the next meeting, she rehearses a dance with her friend, after which she remains alone with her mother. Conchita allows a man to see herself in her underwear and even sit on his knees. After the kiss, Matthew expected to continue, but the girl pushed him away. She also decided to confess that has never been with a man and he can be the first. After that, Matthew invites the girl's mother to his home and offers her money so that they move to live with him. A wealthy Frenchman is preparing to meet his beloved, but not Conchita appears on the threshold of the house, but her friend who brought the letter. It turned out that Conchita found out about the money and does not want more mother since she is not a thing and cannot be bought. Trying to fix a mistake, he hurries to the girl's home but finds out that she has left and is unlikely to return. In the restaurant, Matthew tells his cousin about his adventures and failures. At the exit, the cousin takes the raincoat and sees that Conchita works as a cloakroom attendant. He immediately shows Matthew this girl and hurriedly leaves the restaurant. A man asks for forgiveness for his stupid act and offers to have dinner. The restaurant administrator interrupts their conversation and reprimands the girl for not doing her job well. Not having tolerated such an attitude, Conchita quits and accepts Matthew's offer. After dinner, the couple goes to the house, and the man witnesses another attempt on the life of an elite businessman. Matthew prepared a room for Conchita, but she did not want to live in the bedroom of the man's deceased wife. The maid quickly prepared a second bedroom where the couple could rest. Getting ready for bed, the girl allows her breasts to be caressed, but she then refuses. Angry because of another refusal, the man tries to take Conchita by force. He tries to seduce the girl, but cannot take off her underwear. It turned out that she was wearing underwear made of durable canvas tied in dozens of knots. For 10 minutes, he tried to fight them, but all attempts were failed. Accepting his impotence, the man cries, but the girl calms him down and asks him to wait a little longer. For several days, the couple spends time next to each other and will continue to get closer. By returning home, Matthew reads a newspaper and learns about a new terrorist attack that killed several hundred people. Conchita goes to bed with her beloved but continues to refuse intimacy, only allowing her to touch her breasts. The girl is ready to surrender, but to do this only in marriage. Resourceful Matthew reminds that there are many other ways to have fun in which Conchita will remain clean, but she does not like this proposal. The dialogue of lovers is interrupted by a car accident and the sounds of gunshots. Looking out the window, the girl becomes a witness, another crime. Matthew tries to get her back in bed, but the 18-year-old beauty remains unshakable. Distraught with impotence, the man drives the girl into another bedroom. A couple of minutes later, he hears the sound of a broken vase and hurries to finish. In the girl's bedroom, he finds her friend and kicks them both out. Time goes by, but mother still cannot forget her beloved and ready for any humiliation just to be near her. Not wanting to be a weakling, he asks his cousin to resolve this issue using his connections. The man sends the police to the girl's house, and she and her mother are deported to Spain. Trying to distract from the events experienced, Matthew decides to visit Singapore, but at the last moment changes his mind and goes to Seville, hoping to meet Conchita. Upon arrival in Spain, he enjoys the rest. A couple of days later, he meets a girl, and her mother learns about the horror they have experienced. Upon returning home, Conchita apologizes for her behavior and invites a man to a nearby bar to watch her perform. Matthew wants to kiss the girl, but she turns away, allowing her to put her arm around her shoulders and inhale the scent of her hair. In a bar, a man watches the performance of his beloved and admires her beauty. After another dance, Conchita says she needs to take a nap to stay awake on stage and will be back in 30 minutes. One of the visitors taunts Matthew and says that he is a gullible idiot. He should go up to the second floor and see for himself what Conchita is doing. It turned out that in the restroom, the girl was dancing in front of a dozen men. Bursting into the room, Matthew drives away everyone who is considering the forms of Conchita. Her lover is jealous, but the girl doesn't like it because dancing is the only thing she loves and knows how to do. She is ready to give up everything and be close to Matthew, but for this, she needs her own house. Gullible and wealthy Frenchman acquires real estate by giving his beloved keys and documents confirming ownership. At midnight, he comes to visit, but Conchita not only does not let him, but also admits that he sincerely hates him. It turns out that musician is not a friend, but a lover with whom she has not been in a relationship for the first day. Matthew does not believe the girl, but she confirms her words by making love to the musician right in front of him. Unable to withstand the humiliating spectacle, the man returns to the hotel and becomes a victim of robbers who hit the driver on the head with a bat and stole his car. In the morning, the girl visits Matthew and says that she is still not guilty. What he saw yesterday is an innocent performance, thanks to which she tested the feelings of a musician. Therefore, there is nothing to worry about, but Matthew is tired of lies and bullying, so he hits him gently in the face. Conchita gives the key to his beloved and invites him to visit, but he no longer needs it, and he buys 2 tickets to Madrid and leaves for the station. Matthew's story came to an end, and it would seem that the story ended there, but is not so. At that moment, Conchita enters the compartment and pours a bucket of water on the man's head. The couple put up and returns to Paris. While walking through the mall, they hear an announcement announcing that a number of terrorist organizations have united in the crime syndicate. When they see a wedding dress store, they go to the window and see how the saleswoman is darning the bride's bloody dress. As soon as Matthew and Conchita move away from the store, an explosion occurs, the mall is destroyed, and all the visitors who were in it died. And that's it, the film ends here. Thank you for watching up to this point, and by the way, the title of the film is That Obscure Object of Desire. And also subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos and watch our other retellings. See you soon.